2 months ago, I met some Finns at the Nordic embassies in Berlin. We talked about their project, the Cyber Citizen Initiative. They told me this was an EU-funded project to raise cybersecurity awareness across the EU. And I asked them what is special about the Cyber Citizen Initiative. And after a bit of thinking, Marianne, the project lead, told me, we want to teach them to think critically. This impressed me very much, and I wrote an article about them, which I published in the November issue of Behördenspiegel. Another thing which I liked about their approach was that they wanted to learn the good thing from every EU member country. And in order to find this, they set up workshops all across the EU. And I am very honored, in the name of Behördenspiegel, to welcome our Finnish guests to our studio in Berlin. And also, I am very honored to welcome you, dear sirs and madams, to our workshop on the Cyber Citizen Initiative. My name is Benjamin Hilbricht, and I write about IT and IT security matters for Behördenspiegel. What are we going to do today? We're going to talk about cyber threats, which are the most dangerous, and what skills do citizens need in order to securely navigate the cyberspace. And we would value your feedback. Please write in the chat, and also we are going to provide you other means of participation during the workshop. And if you haven't noticed by now, the entire workshop will be held in English. It is my special honor to welcome our guests. First and foremost, the director of the Cyber Citizen Learning and Community, Marianne Lindroth. Also, the counselor at the Finnish embassy here in Berlin, Marco Pribilla. And last but not least, cybersecurity awareness specialist, organizer and moderator of this workshop, Teemu Mattilainen. I am very excited for what we are going to learn today.
Hello everyone, and thank you Benjamin for your introduction. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for investing time for this workshop. It of course means a lot to us. Like said, my name is Teemu Mattilainen and I work as a project specialist, awareness education and training in Cyber Citizen Initiative. Little bit of today's agenda. We have scheduled this workshop 3 hours, but I think it's estimate time, and I guess 2 hours could be a little bit closer, and I guess that we have a chance to start weekend a little bit earlier, about 12:30. About the agenda, the objectives of this workshop is to identify the key security threats in digital space to citizens, and also to establish a common understanding of the most effective ways to enhance citizens' cybersecurity skills, and to provide feedback on cyber citizen concept, so we could improve our concept and later on provide the needed information and training for all the citizens of the EU countries. In this beginning, we have a privilege to have the opening words from Marco Pribilla, from Finnish embassy, and after that our project lead Marianne Lindroth will have a keynote about the Cyber Citizen project and its objectives. After Marianne's presentation, you will have a chance to answer our cyber threats inquiry. The objective of this inquiry is to receive the information about the different cyber threats you find most harmful and maybe dangerous at the moment. On this workshop, including the inquiry, we are using a program called Mentimeter, so we can a little bit increase the interactivity, and you will receive, of course, more instructions how to use the Mentimeter and answer these questions during the workshop. So no worries if it's not familiar to you already. After we have highlighted the various threats with the inquiry, we move to the first working part, where we think about what kind of skills citizens need in order to be able to operate safely in the digital world in the presence of these cyber threats. After the workshop part 1, we will have a short break, about 15 minutes, and after that we will continue our workshop to workshop part 2, which objective is to find out what kind of training we need to learn these important skills we highlighted in this first working part. And in the end, of course, we will have a conversation about the concluding remarks and then ending this workshop. If you have any questions or comments during the workshop, please use the chat you can find from the platform, and we will go through these questions in the end of this workshop. So, without further speaking, thank you once again for participating in this Cyber Citizen workshop. And I think we're ready to start. So I will pass the floor to Mr. Marko Pripilla from Finnish Embassy. And I hope you all will enjoy this workshop.
Thank you very much, Teemu. Very good morning to everyone. Guten Morgen Berlin, guten Morgen Deutschland. It's my pleasure to be here in the studio of Behördenspiegel Digitaler Staat today for this webinar and workshop on behalf of the Finnish Embassy in Berlin. The background for me being here is that the idea for Cyber Citizen originates from the Finnish government. The European Union then decided to pick it up and support this initiative from Finland in order to help improve cyber skills all over Europe. Our embassy is very happy to promote this important European cause, and so are my colleagues in other European capitals. In today's world, we all rely heavily on digital systems in almost every aspect of life. At the same time, vulnerabilities in computer and communication networks are growing as rapidly as technology evolves. That makes all of us exposed to cyber threats. Cybersecurity, therefore, plays a key role in protecting our infrastructure, our institutions, and our societies as a whole. Unfortunately, the last years have shown that we are not living in the benign and peaceful environment we had hoped and perhaps even believed since the end of the Cold War. The most dramatic proof of this was Russia's unprovoked and illegal invasion of its peaceful neighbor Ukraine almost 2 years ago. In addition, we have experienced a number of different hostile activities against our societies that remain short of actual war. I could name hybrid activities like damaging critical infrastructure or the weaponization of energy, food and migration. But probably the most common threat are the various attacks occurring in cyberspace. None of us is really safe from them. Cybercrime and other cyber threats do not respect national borders. As the cyber environment gets more complex, cooperation, information sharing, and international coordination with partners become increasingly important in order to counter global risks. Finland is working to strengthen cybersecurity internationally, and in particular within our common European Union and NATO. Germany, as a major EU country and a close ally to us, is particularly important in this regard. Finland has always been taking security very seriously. Since many decades, we are applying the concept of comprehensive security. This includes carefully observing the changing situation and new emerging threats around us, and quickly reacting to them, using all appropriate means. Finland's multi-stakeholder security model, where state actors, the private sector, and research institutions collaborate closely, is one of Finland's strengths also when it comes to cyberspace. Finnish companies have a lot to offer in cybersecurity, be it on the hardware side, such as 5G, or in software, applications, and awareness. We have been investing in cybersecurity research and education for many years, becoming a global frontrunner in this field. And what's best, we don't want to keep our know-how to ourselves, but we are ready to share it with our valued partners. In our daily interaction with technology, the human factor is essential. Cybercriminal methods are becoming more and more sophisticated, and a single wrong click can cause significant damage. While it is essential to have secure technical systems, also the public awareness about cyber threats is very important. All of us should be careful to maximize cybersecurity for ourselves and for others. It's a bit like in traffic. We need to have a reliable and serviced vehicle to know and obey our common traffic rules, but also wear a seatbelt in case of an accident. This is exactly what the Cyber Citizen Initiative is about. The aim is to create a model for people around Europe to acquire competencies in the field of cybersecurity, so all of us can navigate in cyberspace more safely. It's a non-profit endeavor. The content of the Cyber Citizen Learning Portal will be made available for free in the official languages of the EU, also auch auf Deutsch. One of the strengths of our European Union is diversity. This also means that needs can be different, and a one-size-fits-all solution may not always work for everyone. This is where you come in, dear viewers and participants. Your help and expertise are necessary to make the localized German version of the learning platform more useful and effective for the cyber citizens in this country. This is a good reason for all of us to be here together today, to exchange views and experiences and to learn from each other to make cyberspace a safer place for everyone. Thank you for your attention, and I wish all of us a fruitful webinar and workshop.
Thank you, Marco. And then we go fast to our agenda again. Thank you, Marco, for your good opening words. Marco and Finnish Embassy has been a huge support for us in this project and during this project. And it's a privilege to have him to have these open words today in our workshop. Like Marco said on his speech, cyberspace doesn't know the regional borders. So the cyber threats can affect to any one of us. And if we think about the comprehensive safety, the citizen is a very important link. And next, we have a privilege to have our project lead, Maria Lindroth, for having the keynote about this project, what we have done by far, and where we're heading. What are the objectives of this Cyber Citizen Initiative project?
Yes, thank you. And let's see if my screen will be visible, at least not just yet. We seem to have some technical issues. Let's just wait for a minute, but anyhow, thank you for having me and thank you for having us. It's nice to be here in Germany, and it's really great to be here to talk about Cyber Citizen Initiative and more about what we are actually trying to accomplish with different EU countries. But just to see, just a moment, we seem to have a bit of a technical issue here. Yeah, now the screen can be seen. That's good. So let's move forward with the agenda. About Cyber Citizen Initiative. So basically our mission is to empower and enable EU citizens with the skills, knowledge and confidence to navigate safely and securely in the digital world. So quite a big mission, but it's accomplishable. And also our vision is a sustainable and resilient Europe, driven by comprehensive security and a strong civic culture of cybersecurity. So this is what we are trying to accomplish, and this is what we would like to see happen in the future in Europe. And about citizen. So basically, citizens have traditionally been seen as consumers of security, not as much as contributors to it. But we actually see the citizen as an important part of overall security. So citizen can actually make a big difference. The Finnish model of comprehensive security states that everyone has a role to play in ensuring security. And this is what we also believe in, and this is what we would like to develop further in Europe. So basically, as you probably know, we have big problems nowadays. We have online scams, we have cybercrime, and we have lots of botnets doing criminal things, and the devices of individuals are part of those botnets. So if we can do something to all of this, there's lots of money going to criminal actors and lots of devices being used to do criminal acts. So if we can change this, we can actually change a lot. And we believe that this collective societal and individual resilience can be actually increased quite a lot in Europe by developing cyber citizen skills, and of course by other measures also. So here you can see the phases of our initiative. So we started year 22, and we had quite a vast research phase in this project. So basically we studied the cybersecurity strategies and cybersecurity policies and cybersecurity training materials of different EU countries. And we published a report that is 150 pages, and it's available on our website. And we also have a summary of that report in every EU language. It's only 5 pages long, so if you want to take a look at that, it's a lot shorter. But basically, when we had the research phase, we got the basic idea of what's going on in the EU at the moment. So lots of good things are being done in different countries, and our idea is to bring it all together and use the best practices, share the best practices, and actually combine our resources so that we can achieve more by less effort, and we don't do simultaneously same kind of things around Europe. What we are doing now is developing a learning model, which will be finished quite soon, and this workshop is also part of that process, that we want to have discussions around Europe about the skills, what kind of skills are needed, what kind of educational training is needed. So that will be published quite soon. And also we have already started creating the learning hub. So basically there will be a hub available for all European citizens, and they can learn cybersecurity from there. And also we are creating and developing this cybersecurity learning game, which I will tell a bit more in a moment. And as part of all this, we are building a network of different kind of actors, organizations, and individuals also around Europe who work around the theme of cyber skills, cybersecurity skills, so that we can combine our knowledge, we can combine our experiences and learn from each other, and also have the view of all around Europe, not just as Finns, but every European country, EU country. And what we will achieve by the end of next year is that we will have the learning hub, and we will have the learning game, and we will have this network and community which can further develop this all. And as you can see below, with the blue background, executor of this project is Aalto-Universität. We both work there with Teemu, but actually the commissioner of this project is Finnish Ministry of Transport and Communications. So they got the 5 million euro funding from EU recovery instrument. And currently we have 2 streams in this project, so the game and also my stream, which is civic skills learning and EU-wide collaboration. So these are just the basic facts about the project so that you can better understand what we are actually trying to accomplish. And here are our objectives also shortly. So basically raise awareness, educate citizens on the importance and role of cybersecurity. And as mentioned just a few moments ago, to create and establish a cybersecurity community and build skills and confidence. And how we are going to do this? So the learning model, which will be published soon. And this workshop we are now having today is part of that process. And collaboration, support from governmental organizations, NGOs and companies around EU. So our idea is that we bring together people from the academia, people from governmental organizations, people from companies, from NGOs, so that we have different kind of perspectives. And the game we are developing, and you will see a few pictures of it in a moment. And as mentioned, we are going to have the hub and lots of material and courses there. And here are just a few things about the hub. So there will be material in all 24 EU languages. And our project or initiative will create some material, but we will also gather the best bits around Europe. So everyone can contribute and we can link or embed the best materials around EU. And also that way we can make it easier for the individuals to find right kind of a material they actually need. And about the hub, so basically it's a portal, and but it's not just a website, it's something more. And what we are trying to create is something that has this kind of a wow experience. So when the user goes there, individual goes there, they actually can quite easily find exactly what they are looking for. So the hub will determine what kind of material or training or course is actually the right one to the user who enters the portal or the hub. And as mentioned, there will be material and courses created by us, but also by others. And here are some contents and functions about the hub. So as mentioned, different use for different users. Profiling in the beginning, and also this up-to-date cybersecurity snapshot. So you can actually find out quite easily what's going on in the field of cybersecurity at the moment. There will be courses and certificates, videos, of course the game, articles, tests, e-learning content. And also these are micro-learning elements like a chatbot and interactive books and things like that. And of course those topical news so that you can understand what's going on in the world of cyber at the moment. And one important thing that we are going to have is this panic button and instructions. So basically if an individual encounters some kind of a difficulties in the digital world, or they have some kind of an incident or something like that, they can push the panic button and they actually get the instructions of their country, what they should do. If it's needed to inform the police, file a crime report or something like that, or just send a report somewhere that something bad is happening. So that kind of instructions will be available. And the target group is basically working age people, so 15 to 64. And there will be also some material linked for children and senior citizens, but our initiative's target group is this working age group of people. Employees of companies and other organizations who might not actually get cybersecurity training in their workplace. People in positions of responsibility in companies, for example, entrepreneurs. And also people outside of the labor force. They can actually take our course and get the certificate, and then when they're applying for a job, they can show in the interview that they actually have this cybersecurity certificate. And of course, information seekers who just want to know something more about cybersecurity. And here are a few things about the game. So basically, we are going to create this mobile game, but you can also play it with your computer. And it's kind of a different learning game because it's really, really fun. So when you play the game, you kind of learn by accident. And in the game, there will be these robots, and they will actually be criminal robots who are doing their criminal activities, and this way the user can learn what kind of things the criminals actually can do. And the criminals, of course, have to protect themselves from other criminals, so there will be also the protective part in the game present. And the idea is to raise awareness of most common threats for EU citizens. And here you can see some pictures of the game. So basically, this is how it will look like. It's an adventure game, and you can read from there that it embarks on an adventure with a society of mischievous and yet good-natured robots on a mission to snatch citizens' data. So this will be available next spring, the first version of it, and it will be finished next year, September. And here a bit more about the game. So it will also be available in 24 different languages. And you can actually learn quite a lot by playing the game, but it's also entertaining and fun, and it doesn't actually feel like learning when you're playing it. And here, lastly, some of our ongoing activities. So we have collaboration and workshop in various EU member states, as we are having here today. And of course, we have to ensure that all this doesn't end by the end of next year, but it actually has continuity. So that's also something we are currently working on. And building collaboration, community and network. And we welcome everyone to join and share their insights about these topics. We believe that it's good to have as many different kind of actors interacting together to create the best possible solution. And of course, when we will have the portal or the first version of it and also the game, we will have lots of end user participation. So we want to know what the actual individuals think of our activities, think of our games and portal and all that. But this was actually my part, and we can maybe move forward from this. Teemu, you can take the lead now.
Thank you, Marianne, for a good introduction about the Cyber Citizen Initiative project. What have we done so far, and what are we doing in the future? Okay, next we can move on in our workshop. And next we're gonna head to our inquiry. And we have one question in the beginning, and we're gonna start discussing about the different cyber threats. So, as you can see, the QR code on the screen, like I mentioned before, we're going to use the Mentimeter program to doing this inquiry. And by taking a photo of this QR code, you have a chance to go to Mentimeter and start answering the question. And the question is that please rank the following threats in the cyberspace, with one being the most concerning to you and then being the least concerning. And you have about 5 minutes time to answer this question, and we will be showing the screen for you about 3 minutes, and after that we move to Mentimeter to see the live results for your answers. But 5 minutes time, and after that we see what kind of answers we have in the Mentimeter.
And just to add that if you have problems with the QR code, you can actually go to the address menti.com and use the number 41515202, and maybe we will even have a link in the chat. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see you after 5 minutes.
Okay, I think we're back.
And a couple of minutes more for your answers, and after that we're gonna start going through what kind of answers we have.
Yeah, you can already see there what others have answered, but you still have time to give your own answer if you haven't had the time to do it yet. What's the highest currently? It seems to be ransomware attacks.
Yeah, ransomware and phishing scams, and also deep fakes.
Yeah, deepfakes is quite high. And DDoS attacks also. Data breaches involving personal information. I think we are not getting any more answers now, so maybe we can go through this now.
Okay, so like we just said, there's phishing scams, ransomware attacks, malware or viruses as well. Well, there's also identity theft, fraud. I guess all of these
yeah, all of these got votes to say.
Yeah.
But I think what you just voted that IoT vulnerabilities are the least worrying threats.
Yes, and I guess the ransomware attacks is the
Yes,
threat
highest.
got most answers.
Yeah.
Yes, I think the phishing scams and ransomware attacks, that kind of answers we usually get. Deep fakes, not usually so much, but I think it's something we really need to take into account more and more all the time. Because like we know, we see all these manipulated videos in social media and internet all the time more and more, so it's nice to see this kind of awareness as well.
Yeah, but as you can see from the answers, it's quite divided. So it's hard to say which one is actually the least worrying. But yeah. But as you have voted here, you do think that actually these all are quite severe in a way, and that is the case. And for a normal user, it's quite difficult because if you don't even understand what these threats mean, and you still should be able to be careful. So that's also something that we are here today to discuss and to find solutions maybe.
Yes, and thank you for your good answers. We have still one more question about according these threats, and we're going to move there soon. But this is really important, and thank you for the answers, because when we move to the workshop parts, we need the knowledge about these highlighted threats when we start thinking, for example, that what kind of skills we need to tackle these threats. But let's go to our another question, and we're going to act the same way. You see on the screen the QR code. And this question is, what do you see as the key threats in the cyberspace to you currently? So in this question, we'd like to know or see that what do you think that what is affecting you most? And we're going to go to the same way. You have time, 5 minutes to answer this question. And about 3 minutes, we go again to the Mentimeter screen to see the live results, and you still have 2 minutes or couple of minutes to answer these questions. So let's start answering.
Just to notify that there was a bit of a delay, but now you can answer the question. So if you tried really fast, you might not be able to do it, but now it's available. So just use the QR code or the link and please answer the questions, and we will see the results in a few minutes.
And no worries, we're going to give you a little bit more time to answer, so you have time to answer this question as well. Okay, now we can change to the Mentimeter screen to see what kind of answers we got. Ransomware, phishing, same kind of threats we noticed from the last inquiry. Security vulnerabilities, deep fakes, is also there. Social engineering, organized crime, AI, very good answers. Fake news. Yes, really good answers. The social engineering, I think somehow could include, for example, the phishing and some others as well. And like I said, in the last inquiry, there's also this deep fakes once again, which I think is a realism nowadays. So right now, after we've highlighted a different kind of threats overall and what kind of threats you think are the most harmful for you, I think it's time to move on to our first workshop. So the workshop part 1. And the question of this workshop is that what are the skills needed to address the current security threats? So basically now we have the different kind of threats. We know what kind of threats you highlighted. So now we need to start thinking that what kind of skills we need to fight against or tackle these threats. So according to the key cybersecurity related threats experienced by the citizens and what skills are most critical for citizens from 15 to 64 years old to be able to operate safely in digital environment. And you can address the current ones, you think, and also the future ones. And we're going to do the same thing. Now we're going to give you maybe a little bit more time to answer this question. It's going to work once again same way. There's a QR code. By using, you get to the Mentimeter and you have a chance to answer this question. So let's find out the skills we need to tackle these threats. Okay, it looks like we're back. So let's see what kind of skills we found.
You can see those Mentimeter screen in the background there. So,
yes, media literacy, critical thinking, really important. We also have awareness here, secure ID for citizens, safe surfing on web, attention to detail, forward looking, there's critical, once again, foresight, using devices securely, really important.
and there are even a few methods, not maybe skills, but methods to develop these skills, so workshops and phishing exercises.
Yes, and using devices securely, of course, because we're acting all the time in the digital world. I think everyone should have some kind of know-how how to use all the devices like phones, computers, tablets securely. So really important things.
But this one there, access to reliable info, that's really interesting. And it would be great if we could somehow offer that or help citizens to find the reliable information. But of course, that's really a big problem nowadays, that you cannot trust basically anything online.
Yes. And actually this is really important because we've been thinking the same things in our project. And next we're going to show what kind of things we've been highlighting in our project. So there is the cyber citizen skills. We named these cyber citizen skills because this project is for increasing the safety for the citizens in the EU countries. So we have secure technology, same thing we found from your answers. And of course, like I said, everyone is acting in digital world nowadays and taking care of everyday tasks. We're using mobile phones, we're using computers, we're using smartphones and so on and so on. So we think also that everyone should have the basic knowledge and skills how to stay safe when using these devices in digital world. Ethics and rules, well, it doesn't matter are we acting in digital world or in physical world. We need to understand our responsibilities and responsibilities based on the consequences of our actions. Of course, without forgetting our rights as well. Understanding the value, like here we has know-how that helps them to understand what is valuable to each party in each situation. We also might often deal with the sensitive information in digital world. It can be ours or someone else's, for example, in social media. So we need to understand the value of this information to which we also even might have access. Critical thinking, the same thing we can find from your answers many times. I think it's the same thing, kind of same thing with the media literacy, which is really important things. And we think that nowadays everyone should have some kind of media literacy skills, because we need to be critical of the source of the information, because we reach so much information all the time. Unfortunately, of course, today there is a lot of false information and information influencing by, for example, some malicious actors who wants to do harm or just affect on our behavior and thoughts. And well, maybe media literacy is something that should be taught to children as well on young age, for example, in elementary school, or why not in preschool as well. So they would understand what is true and what might be the false information. And then we have also this attitude, well, recognizes the impact of their thinking and emotions in different situations. I think emotions guide our actions in physical world, but also in digital world. And that is very important to understand. Sometimes the actions guided by our emotions might expose us to well, different threats in digital world. And well, of course, this is human, and when being cheated or fooled, it's normal that we often feel different kind of emotions, like for example shame, and this kind of emotions might prevent open discussion about these prevailing threats, for example. So, and maybe this might also affect the assessment of the situation related to different cyber threats that you already also mentioned before in our inquiry. So it's really nice to see that what we've been thinking in our project, we have pretty much same kind of thoughts with you, like critical thinking, media literacy, what else we have there?
Using devices securely.
Yes.
And of course, the basic awareness, because this all cyber citizen skills are all about awareness and raising awareness.
Okay. Anything to add to this?
Maybe about the words with the blue background in the bottom of the screen. You can see just this is information about how these cyber citizen skills were created. So we used DICOM framework as a base. So DICOM framework is EU-wide framework which actually has classified different kind of digital skills. And they have those dimensions you can see with the blue background, and we took those dimensions and we kind of studied it, that what are related to security, and actually in every dimension there were some skills that were related to security, so we used those skills as a base to create cyber citizen skills. So just for you to know this kind of a background that is there.
Okay, thank you. Good point. And in this part, we have a small break. I want to thank you already about all your very good answers. Like I said in the beginning, one of the objectives of this workshop is to gain information, what kind of information we need to provide, what kind of training we should provide for the citizens to increase the citizens' cybersecurity skills in the EU countries. And after our break, we have a little bit more working ahead, and we have one more workshop part 2. And now we already know different kind of threats that is affecting to us when we're acting in the digital world. And we know some skills that we need to have as citizens so we can act safely in the digital world. And after the break, we're going to start thinking about what kind of training we should have to learn these skills.
Yeah, and at this point we would really like to thank you for your contribution this far. This has been really fruitful and interesting to learn about your thoughts and insights, and we look forward continuing in a moment.
Okay, so now 15 minutes break. Let's have a coffee, relax a little bit, and we come back after 15 minutes. Thank you. Okay, I hope everybody is back from the break so we can continue our workshop. Next, right after this break, we're gonna go to our workshop part 2. And we're gonna show you the screen. Just a moment. Okay, now you have the screen there. We're gonna act the same way than we've been acting before in this workshop, using this QR code. And the question is that what type of cybersecurity training would be beneficial for the public? And what kind of training should be provided to the citizens in the host country? And in the first phase, like Marianne told in the beginning about this project in her keynote, on this first phase of this project, we did a research in all the EU countries to find out what kind of training and training methods already exists in different EU countries. And right now, with these questions, we like to hear your opinions, that what kind of training should be provided to the citizens in your country, here in Germany. And also, what kind of material should be included into the Cyber Citizen Learning Hub. And of course, we're now developing the Learning Hub, and which will be published next year. And we will use these answers in the development of this Learning Hub. So at the same time, basically, you have an opportunity to influence that what kind of content there will be in our Learning Hub. And the last question here that we would like you to think about is how can citizens' awareness of Cyber Citizen platform be increased as efficiently as possible? Who needs to be involved? And what we're basically meaning with this is that when we're developing the hub, Learning Hub, we will be sharing proven methods, materials from different EU countries through our Learning Hub. So this is something, like I said before, that you have some kind of chance to influence here. So this is the same thing, this third question here. And of course, this might come a little bit fast for you, but we would like to hear your opinions, to get your answers. Also, if you have some ideas after this workshop, so you can contact us by email, for example, and give your comments, give your opinions, and we're going to share the email address to the chat right now. And a little bit about like I said, in the first phase, we did the research. If you are interested about this research, the final report, you can find it from our website as well, which is cybercitizen.eu. But now you got these answers, the questions, there is QR code, so let's start to answer these questions. Okay, we're getting really good answers all the time. Really good information for us. So we're gonna give you a few minutes more to answer because some answers are pretty long as well, which is really good. So just a few minutes more, and after that we start going through these answers.
I think we're back.
Okay, we're back, and let's start going through the really good answers we have here. So we have something about the fake shops. I guess this means like web shops.
Yeah.
How to separate the wrong or false one from the right one.
And this is really important one because there's so many fake shops online nowadays, and it might be even difficult to recognize what is authentic and what is not. And sometimes you might even get the product, but it's not exactly what was promised and all that. And sometimes you don't get anything; you just lose your money. But this is really good one.
Yes, really important one. Mandatory IT training for all servants for the public sector. Yes, that's something really important, and there's a lot of needs for this kind of training as well in public sector, in different areas. That's true. Gamified training scenarios, that's something we've been already been developing.
Yeah, we have been developing this kind of course we will have the game, but we also would like to have these like gamified simulations, so that it's kind of a game. You make different kind of decisions, and then you have different kind of consequences, and you actually have these scenarios which play out, so that you can choose different kind of options and then see what happens and maybe learn something from it. But this is really good one, and gladly we already have something like this planned.
Yes, and gamification as a method is really good, interesting. You can learn basically by having fun, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
There's also a second time gamified training scenarios advertised, incentivized by employers, start training while still in school.
Yeah, it would be a really good idea to have cyber citizen skills in actually the formal curricula of schools. And I think, or actually I know, because we had the research, that in many countries there already is something going on, or at least it's being planned at the moment, that there will be like mandatory cybersecurity related education in elementary school. And it's actually a good place to actually educate these skills, since youngsters usually are quite good with digital devices, but they might not understand all the dangers in the digital world.
Yes, and all the time younger and younger children playing with their smartphones and so on. So, of course, we need to teach these skills in schools, but I think we need to start thinking the time before the schools already as well.
Yeah.
Training, gamification once again, that's really good. There's training with gamification, different separate training sessions, possibility to win something. That's really important, to win something.
Yeah. And you have to give rewards to individuals if they accomplish something, and this is a really good idea. This is something that we have to think about more. Of course, it's some kind of a reward if you get this certificate when you complete the cybersecurity course. But of course, there could be something more, maybe lighter, or even kind of a treats or something like candy or something that we could share. But that's something we can actually think about more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea, to win something. It's to motivate people to train. I think it's really important. Cybersecurity material provided from the government for business and the public sector. Yes, this is something that we talked already. That's really important. And like we said, especially in the public sectors, there's a lot of areas that needs to have more basic skills about the cybersecurity. And really good point. Multimedial training would be good. Audio snippets, video clips, small multiple choice questions about what was learned, game sequences, local authority, big commercial companies for TV and social media.
It's a good idea, and I think it's important that we raise awareness in every channel possible. So people spend a lot of time in social media, and also, of course, they watch TV. So those are good channels to reach people also.
Yeah, true. Interactive training videos, quick instructions, that's also really important, something that we've been already done a little bit, and we're planning all the time. Just a minute, maximum 2 minutes videos. It's done the way that it's interesting, maybe for the target groups, that they find the meaning from the videos.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good method to learn these skills. And training on how to tackle ransomware. the black goo of the 20th.
Yeah, that's a good,
century.
that's actually a really good idea. And of course, do not pay. That's the first rule. But we could give some more instructions also in the portal. Really, really good ideas. Thank you so much for these.
And for the last one, when we're talking about the skills, basically this the whole idea goes through the whole workshop today. Because in the first part, we were thinking about different kind of threats. There was this ransomware attacks, for example, social engineering, so on. And when we were thinking about the possible skills we need to have, there was this, we need to understand that the emotions, for example, guide all our actions. So we come from the threats to understand that why are we doing these things. And at the end, there is training how to tackle this ransomware. So I think that's something that was one of the biggest objectives for this workshop today. And thank you very much for very good answers. We got a lot of really good information that we can use when we're developing the project.
Should we go back to your screen?
Yes.
Yes, so yeah. Wrapping up.
So right now we're in the end of this workshop, so it's time to wrap up, and actually we already did that without the screen. But yeah, like I said, we got really good things, really good knowledge from you. Thank you very much about that. And this is something that we're gonna be using when we develop the Learning Hub and so on. And hopefully we can provide these skills, training methods to learn these skills that we highlighted today. We have still some questions in our chat, and we still have time to go through those questions.
And that's
so
good.
What is the first one?
Yeah. The first question here is, in how many countries are you doing these projects? And it's just Europe, right? Yes, so basically, Cyber Citizen Initiative, our target group is all 27 EU countries. So we are doing this with all EU countries. We are doing something more with some countries and a bit less with some other countries because, as you know, there are so many countries in EU. We have had to make difficult choices, but at least we are here now in Germany. And also some other countries will have a bit more activities, but everyone has an opportunity to participate, to influence, and that's important for us. And at the moment it's just Europe, but who knows, maybe we could have collaboration with countries outside of Europe also later on.
We did the first workshop in Paris, France. Now this is the second workshop for us here in Berlin. Well, we're gonna have one bigger EU-wide workshop, virtual workshop, December, still in this month. And we've already planned and scheduled some workshops next year, for example, to Ireland, Estonia, Sweden, and Netherlands. And we're also planning another workshop to here in Germany in the beginning of next year as well.
Yes, and next question here is, how important is gamification as a form of training? Yes, we do think it's really important, and we also think that actually we should offer different kind of learning methods to different kind of people, because people have different learning preferences. Some people want to play games, and some people want to read books or PDFs. Some people want to have something interactive with others. So our learning model is actually based on the idea that we have to have different kind of training for different kind of people. And gamification is one really important piece in this puzzle, but it's also just one piece. You cannot have everything gamified. You also have to have other kinds of learning elements. Yeah, there are one more question. Is ransomware also, in your view, the biggest threats in cybersecurity in Europe? Maybe we can give our own opinions. What's your opinion?
It's difficult to pick one, which is the biggest, like we noticed in the inquiry. There was a lot of different threats that got a lot of your votes. So it's difficult to say what is biggest, but ransomware, pretty sure one of the most biggest harmful threats in the cyberspace right now. Of course, the phishing, the social engineering, different methods of that, and let's not forget the different kind of malicious programs, viruses, and so on. So my opinion is that I wouldn't pick up one a special threat like we learned today. We need to have skills to tackle all of these different kind of threats to act safely in the digital world.
My opinion also is that ransomware, of course, it's a big problem, and it's a business actually for criminals, and it targets both like really big companies and same time also individuals, and it's problematic. But at the same time, we have so many other threats like fake news and the problem that we cannot rely information, and the way some countries, for example, can influence the election processes of other countries and all the things like that. So as Teemu here said, that I agree that I wouldn't say that the ransomware is the worst or biggest threat. It's one of the biggest threats. We have so many at the moment. But gladly, there are also remedies, and we can try to enhance the situation.
Yes, and the thing is that the threats, the attacks are improving all the time as well. So there's a lot of different things, and the risk assessments we're doing today might be already different tomorrow. So difficult question.
Yeah. I think we have now covered all questions, but I will use still the time we have left to promote our website and our newsletter. So maybe it can be posted into the chat now, so our website address, and you can order the newsletter from there. So that's if you want to know what's going on in Cyber Citizen Initiative, and if you want to know more about, for example, our future activities in Germany, you can learn that from that newsletter.
So, I think we're now in the end of this workshop. I still want to thank everyone for your time. This was really good for us, and like Marianne said, if you get any other ideas, comments, what we can use, how we can improve our project, please let us know. Send us email, and please visit our website for more information as well. Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you so much, and have a nice weekend.
Thank you, Teemu, Marianne, and Marco for this webinar. It was very exciting for us, and also very big thank you to our audience for your participation. This was something new for us, this workshop, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Next time, we reconvene here on the 16th of January to talk about digitalization again, specifically about the modernization of registers in Germany. Until then, I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Goodbye.